Jesus is Lord. And he was such a nice Jewish boy. Jesus changed my life. And he's still in the life-changing business. I believe in the divinity of Christ. I believe in the accuracy of the Hebrew Scriptures. I'm convinced that Moses and the ancient Jewish prophets pointed to Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah. Jesus died to save sinners, and you are a sinner. Hello, my name is Dr. Randy Weiss. If you've watched CrossTalk before, you know that I usually greet my audience with the typical greeting of Shalom. This wonderful word is used to say hello, to bid farewell, and it is also a blessing for peace. The world needs peace. The body of Messiah is the only place to find peace. The church is to be the advocate for peace. The church is to be the announcer, always declaring the source of peace. The church is to be in the business of shalom, peace. But are we accomplishing what God desires? Sadly, many of us are failing. I want to tell you one of the most basic reasons for our failure. I did not greet you with shalom because I want to discuss a topic that rips the peace from the heart of every Christian who flirts with destruction or has entered the forbidden zone of sexual infidelity. Today, I need to tell you a story. For obvious reasons, I cannot tell you the names of the folks involved. However, in a moment, I will tell you one name that is relevant. My prayer is that you will discover and store up the full relevance of this story. If you do, it may help you live a godly life. If you capture the heart of this message, you will have learned how to escape the greatest suffering. If this information can be planted in your heart, it will grow deep into your soul and it will flourish into a hedge of protection around your life that will keep you from the very fires of eternal hell. I bring you no humor in this broadcast. The topic is too serious. I bring you no song because the result of ignoring this message will rip the song from any heart. I come in love and pray, if you have never listened to a message about fidelity before, that you will hear every thought that pours from my soul into this broadcast. You may never have had a thought of dishonoring the marriage bed. You may never have wrestled with an unclean desire. Listen to me anyway, because you may need to be prepared to help someone else who has been tempted. You may know someone who is suffering from the results of infidelity at this very moment. You may be one who is contemplating an action that will undoubtedly lead to suffering. I pray that this message is from the Lord because I believe He wants you to learn a simple lesson about fidelity and the results of infidelity. I hope this is not something from my soul, but rather from the heart of God. Have you ever heard a Marine tell a buddy, "Semper Fi"? This wonderful little saying is short for the motto, Semper Fidelis. It means always faithful. That is supposed to be the most obvious character quality of a Marine. Interestingly, the same requirement should without fail be the hallmark of a Christian. We are to always be faithful. It is to be the hallmark of a Christian. Nothing less is sufficient. Have you ever heard of a place called Goldsmiths Hall? I discussed this term elsewhere because it seems to me that one of the big problems we face in life is a simple lack of standards and accountability. Well, all the jewelers of London knew about Goldsmiths Hall because they understood the need for standards. Prudent customers also knew about Goldsmiths Hall because they understood the meaning of value. You see, in England, it was at the Goldsmiths Hall that gold and silver objects were stamped to certify the quality of the piece under review. Mints and assayers placed their stamp on precious metals to verify the content and purity of the materials. These special stamps became known as hallmarks. You can easily understand why a hallmark stamped onto an item was very, very important. Nobody wanted to end up with a fake piece of jewelry having paid for the genuine article. Without a hallmark, the customer could never be sure. An artist's reputation was based upon the hallmark. Without the stamp, an item was of uncertain value. It was the hallmark that certainly separated the precious metal from the cheap substitutes. You see, sometimes it was not easy to tell the difference. Without great skill and experience, it is simply not possible. We were in Red China back in 1981. On our way back while in Hong Kong, my wife bought me a ring, had a little gold coin in the center. It's lovely and seemed like a reasonable price. But a few years later, the top layer began flaking off the face of the coin. It was a fake. It appeared nice on the surface, but it was not the genuine article. A look-alike. A look-alike. A look-alike, if you will.